Isabel Pascal. Welcome back to Eat Freely, where we give you tips on how to eat with food allergies. On the menu, allergy-friendly old-fashioned mac and cheese. And it's no secret that homemade mac and cheese is much better than the boxed or frozen stuff. So let's get started. You start out by heating a 1/4 cup of olive oil over medium heat. Now this is our substitute for butter. To that, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of grated onion. Now, why did I grate it? So that it disappears and your kids don't know it's in there, but it's gonna give you a little flavor boost. And you're gonna cook that about 2 minutes. Next, I'm adding, this is a very important ingredient. This is a 1/4 cup of brown rice flour, and this is our substitute for all-purpose flour. We're gonna put that in, and I am now going to switch from my spoon to a whisk. Whisk that, and we're gonna cook this again for about 2 minutes till it's golden. And I have preheated 2 cups of rice milk. This is our substitute for cow's milk. I've preheated this not to boiling, but to a scald, which is just below a boil. And we're gonna add it a little bit at a time to our mixture here, whisking all the while. Don't worry if it lumps up a little bit, you can always whisk harder and whisk out those lumps as you go along. I'm now gonna add a pinch of nutmeg. Now nutmeg is not a nut. A pinch of cayenne pepper, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, which is really, I swear, the secret ingredient of homemade mac and cheese. No longer a secret. And 1 bay leaf. And last but not least, we're gonna add just a few turns of freshly ground pepper. We're now gonna turn it into a cheese sauce. We're gonna add 1 cup of this amazing dairy-free, soy-free cheese. This is a cheddar, a grated cheddar. And I'm just gonna throw in a cup of that. And again, we're gonna cook it over our low flame until it melts. So we're gonna combine this with our pre-cooked al dente penne. So what I've done here is after 10 minutes, I've drained the pasta and I've run it under cool water to stop the cooking process. And then I've tossed it back into the pot. And I'm now gonna mix it with my lovely cream sauce. And I'm gonna mix this up nicely. And now our final step is assembly. So we're gonna begin by putting a 1/2 cup of this dairy-free, soy-free shredded cheddar at the bottom. And then we're gonna add 1/3 of this pasta that's been mixed with the sauce, and we're gonna spread that out. We're gonna have 3 layers of pasta total. This final touch for this old-fashioned homemade baked mac and cheese is the breadcrumbs. That's what's gonna give it that coveted crunch on top with the nice ooey gooey center. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix together 1/3 of a cup of gluten-free breadcrumbs with a tablespoon of olive oil. If you don't like breadcrumbs, you don't have to add these, but I love that little bit of crunch on the top of my macaroni and cheese. So I've preheated the oven to 350. And we're just gonna put this in the center of the oven, on the center rack, and cook it for an hour. Look at that. Yum. Crunchy crust, creamy center. Enjoy and eat freely.